Boris Johnson could be in trouble with the US-UK trade talks, and we're going to talk about how the establishment are now trying to protect themselves. Hello everybody and welcome to today's vlog. We have a lot to talk about today, whether it's the US-UK trade talks. It's getting quite bumpy, this road, for Boris Johnson and Donald Trump, and also the establishment from the BBC to the Department of Health and the Labour Party trying to defend themselves and protect themselves instead of taking care of the interests of the majority. But before we start, first things first, today I'm also cooking my fine dining dish. It's fish basically, but I'm gonna make it look good. So it's gonna be, let me show you this. So we have all the ingredients. You got the fish, you got bacon, you got parsley, mushrooms. Oh, I need to actually get some potatoes because I'm gonna have to make some mashed potatoes and chicken stock. Okay, let's start by putting the fish in the oven. That's the easy part. We don't have to worry about that for a while. But while we wait for this for about 20 minutes, let's talk about Donald Trump and Boris Johnson. So, as you know, the UK decided to initially work with China and Huawei, basically Huawei as a company, but we know that Huawei are linked to the Chinese state. Donald Trump has now decided to launch a review, a very strong and massive review into how the UK's Huawei decision could impact America, and this actually includes the US intelligence being actually pulled out of the UK, and this could also damage the UK-US trade talks because Trump obviously won't want to. It's not just Trump; it's the American government as a whole that won't deal with any nation in terms of trade or security cooperation if they are linked to China. According to the Telegraph, US spy planes could be pulled from Britain as White House conducts a major Huawei review. So they've now launched this major review into the whole situation because initially Downing Street agreed that Huawei can help build its 5G network. Now, half a dozen sources, including current US and UK officials, have told the Telegraph that the review, not yet announced in public, is underway, carrying potential ramifications for the special relationship. Now, this includes like every military intelligence assets that the Americans have in Britain. They're all being assessed to understand the knock-on implications of letting Huawei construct part of the new wireless network. Now, this is very important. Firstly, this has nothing to do with the actual 5G as a concept, because there's a whole different topic about that. This is primarily about security and the role of Huawei, because the Chinese state are completely linked, and this is not some sort of conspiracy theory. Everybody knows this, and if you've seen the recent videos that I've done, we've also exposed how they are arresting people if they, the whistleblowers, if they mention anything publicly. So this is a big problem for Boris Johnson. The Conservative Party have also kicked off. They are pushing the government to reconsider this decision, and Boris Johnson has signaled that he's willing to reconsider Huawei. Essentially, the situation we have is that a number of Conservative MPs, including Tom Tugendhat, have raised concerns. He said that this is serious. We need to rethink the Huawei decision. It is not about 5G. It's about strategic partnerships, partnership with countries that have not shown themselves to be allies. Well, I fully agree with Tom and other Tory MPs. The interesting thing is, I've mentioned this, I think last week in my video, how it's usually been in the past that the right wing of the Tory party were against China and this sort of stuff. But now we have the right wing of the Tory party, the wet left wing and the centrists. Everyone have now got together, and they are now fully united behind this cause. But now we have to prepare the mushroom and the bacon here, wait for the oil, and also the chicken stock. But while we wait for this, let's talk about the other problem for Boris Johnson, because this whole issue isn't necessarily just the politicians of the government. It's the civil service and the whole establishment. They're the biggest problem, because in reality it's actually the top departments, Home Office, Foreign Office. These are the people who are the biggest obstacle. They want to have links to China. It's a whole weird situation. It's been going on for decades and decades, and politicians always try to fight back. It's not really easy. Departments generally speaking, government departments are ridiculous. For example, the Department of Health and Social Care. Now, these guys are supposed to be there to oversee the NHS and the healthcare, the well-being of the citizens in general, but they are becoming so woke that it's getting completely ridiculous. So they sent this tweet because of genders. As you know, this virus and everything we're going through has a huge effect on men more than women, and so this is what they said. So they said that we have new evidence that this virus has a bigger impact on some ethnic groups as well as certain genders. I wonder what that means. What genders? Which ones? Well, considering there are only 2 genders, and we've already heard that it affects men more than women, why can't you just say men? It's men. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to show. We now added the chicken stock to the mushroom and the bacon. We bring it back to boil, and until it gets better, just wait a bit, and then the actual fish should be ready. Actually, now this idiocy of the tweet was done by the civil servants, the social media team, and it got so bad that even Matt Hancock, who's not your sound right winger, he's a left-wing Tory, moderate Tory. Even he he's not really happy about this. He was on Julia Hartley-Brewer's show this morning, and she was questioning him about this issue, and he got very defensive. He said, it's not my fault. It's the social media team. I'm gonna have a word with them.
As well as certain genders.
Yeah.
Can you tell me?
Men.
Certain
It's
genders.
men.
Yes. Yes.
It's
There's a little bit of a
men.
concern that the
Men.
Department of Health
It's-
might not know that there are only 2 genders.
I think we'll be having discussions, but with the in the department. But there's there are just to the last point, right? Men are more likely to die of this disease than women, and we need to understand much more about why that's the case.
So not certain genders, men.
Men, absolutely, yeah.
Good to know the Health Secretary at least knows the difference, even if some of the staff don't. I think perhaps you might need to have a word with your terribly woke social media team.
Leave that to me.
All right.
Now, all these departments, the whole establishment have become so woke to promote their own Marxist ideology. It's not just these departments, it's actually organizations like the BBC. So actually, let's talk about the BBC, because they're now trying to find new ways to take your money as taxpayers. But before we start, let me show you the end product of my fine dining fish. There we go. So we have the mashed potato, and then you got the fish, and you got the bacon and mushroom and parsley and some lemon juice on top of it all. So yeah, amazing, right? Oh yes, I can cook as well. So if there are any women out there watching this, if you want to marry me, send me a message on Twitter. So okay, let's go and finish this, and then I'm going to talk about the BBC. Right, that was great, but I'm not completely happy just because I had that food, because the BBC are going on my nerves again. They have now proposed a new idea to make more money. They are now coming after every single one of you who happens to live in a big house, in a house that is expensive. Now, what they want to do is to increase the TV tax for these people, which makes absolutely no sense, because a lot of people who happen to live in an expensive house, they might have gotten it from their parents or grandparents, and it's just a family home. Just because you have savings or you own a place doesn't mean you're rich. This is the biggest problem. So let's have a look at the article. So this is in the Daily Mail. People with big houses could be forced to pay higher TV license fee under progressive BBC proposals. Sources say that a flat fee doesn't work when so many people are living longer. Oh, great. So they're coming after pensioners. So it makes absolutely no sense. This is one of those idiotic stories that I've heard, because you don't really see Netflix or Amazon Prime increasing their prices based on the value of your home. Newspapers don't do it. Why would you? I don't understand this. And again, the Conservative Parliamentary Party are kicking off because the BBC bias is getting out of hand. And now they're doing things like this. The review into the BBC's TV tax is going to be in place very soon, and this investigation will actually figure out what the government is going to be doing about the BBC as a whole. I'm not really sure how long it will take, but we'll find out at some point within the next few months. But the biggest problem we have is that all these organizations and certain left-wing political parties like the Labour Party are becoming so progressive that they're slightly no longer tolerable. So we now have the Labour Party who have warned one of the Labour councillors because he was helping with the Tories in Kensington, I believe, to deliver food to food banks. You know, you had the local Tories and, you know, other Lib Dems and everybody else, and some Labour councillor who were working together, you know, charity work with food banks, and the Labour Party, the actual Labour Party, are now kicking off because how dare you work with the Tories, even if that's to help ordinary people? Yeah, so a Labour councillor is now being given warning after working with the local Tories to deliver food to food banks. This is a video posted by the local Conservative MP in Kensington, and this Labour councillor was featured in that video.
I'm here at the Venture Centre helping lots of amazing volunteers unload a lorry load of food which will be packaged up and then sent to food banks.
Yeah, hello, here we are at the Venture Centre in North Kensington with Elizabeth Campbell, the leader of the council, and Felicity Buchan MP, and all these wonderful people from the Venture Centre, including William. Today, Luke and I from Abacus Transport, we went to Booker and we picked up a load of food that should sustain our community in North Kensington for at least the next week. And when supplies start running low, we'll be down there again to make sure nobody goes hungry in Kensington and Chelsea.
I mean, how ridiculous! Why does it matter? It's still a weird situation. They're supposed to be helping ordinary people out there, and the Labour Party are more concerned about the partisan, tribal nonsense and the socialist ideology. You had one of the Labour MPs in Parliament asking a question. This is via video chat. We had the Secretary of State for Work and Pensions, Tracy Coffey, answering questions. And this Labour MP said, shouldn't we have universal basic income? Just give free money to everyone? Because, you know, money just comes out of nowhere. And Tracy Coffey responded with this.
Would the Minister please agree to consider introducing a recovery universal basic income to help achieve a sustained economic recovery, and which could become the foundation for a future social security system that provides financial security for everyone?
Secretary of State.
No.
And you think that's bad? It's not just Labour. You have the Liberal Democrats, who are also socialists these days. Layla Moran, one of our favourite Lib Dem MPs, asking Michael Gove to consider extending the Brexit transition. And this is the response she got from Michael Gove.
So can the Minister tell us, will the government even consider asking for a short extension to avoid a no-deal Brexit, or is it intent on putting ideology before pragmatism?
Secretary of State.
I'm grateful to the Honourable Lady for her question. This government always puts pragmatism first and the interests of the British people first. She mentioned a YouGov poll. There was another poll on the 12th of December last year called a general election, in which my right honourable friend, the member for Uxbridge and South Ruislip, secured a majority in order to take this country out of the European Union on the basis of the deal that he negotiated. The Liberal Democrats took part in that poll. I can't recall exactly how well they did, but it's certainly the case that they were not entrusted by the British people with the discharge of policy on our relationship with the EU.
Now, seriously, these people are slightly cuckoo. Yeah, so this is today's vlog. Make sure to watch the video that we did at 5:45 p.m. earlier. We interviewed Steve Baker, one of the Libertarian Conservative MPs in Parliament, who was talking about the lockdown measures and how we should consider lifting them slowly, because of the not just the economic impact, but also the effects it has on people's mental health on a societal level. So make sure to watch that video as well. And if you're new to the channel, if you enjoy these vlogs and the news show that we do at 5:45, make sure to subscribe and click on that bell next to it so you get notified. Also, I've mentioned this before, I'm going to say it one more time, the notification bell that we always mention. You have to click on it, and so YouTube has changed the settings. You get three options: all, personalized, and none, I think. Make sure to click on all, otherwise you won't actually get notified. It's pointless otherwise. So if you happen to miss some of the videos, it's because you're not actually getting notified. So make sure to click on all. And apart from that, I'm gonna go take a nap, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a new video.